Welcome to the Mindspark, bringing you the latest news from around the world. The headline screamed from every screen, NASA live feed cut. In an instant, the world's attention was seized. Newsrooms erupted in chaos, phones rang off the hook, and social media feeds exploded with speculation. It was as if the entire planet had been jolted awake by a single urgent message. The sense of unease was palpable, spreading like wildfire from living rooms to city streets. Mystery object triggers global alert. The words echoed across continents, translated into every language, repeated by every anchor. For the first time in years, the world was united, not by celebration but by a shared sense of dread and anticipation. The digital world map lit up with warning icons, each one a beacon of uncertainty. NASA's live broadcast from the James Webb Space Telescope, usually a niche event for astronomers and space enthusiasts, had suddenly become the most watched event on the planet. Millions tuned in, their eyes glued to the unfolding drama as a strange, unidentified object entered our solar system. The anticipation was electric, a global moment of wonder and fear. As families huddled together, scientists held their breath, and the world waited for answers. The James Webb, humanity's eye in the cosmos, was now the center of a mystery that spanned the stars. On screen, a lead scientist pointed to a sprawling diagram. The object's path looped and swerved, defying all known models of celestial motion. "We are witnessing something unprecedented," he announced, his voice trembling with both excitement and fear. "The object designated Neo Oumuamua is adjusting its course." The words hung in the air, heavy with implication. Suddenly the feed flickered. Static crackled across the screen, then without warning, darkness. The broadcast was cut mid-sentence, leaving millions in stunned silence. A sterile message appeared. "We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by." The silence that followed was more deafening than any explosion. Across the globe, people stared at their screens, waiting for answers that never came. The blackout was no glitch. It was a curtain drawn over a profound truth. In living rooms, offices, and crowded bars, the same question echoed: what are they hiding from us? Within minutes, every major space agency followed suit. Data streams went dark. It was a coordinated, global information lockdown. The unspoken message was clear: what was happening was too significant, too dangerous for public eyes. Around the world, scientists and journalists were left in the dark, their access to data abruptly severed. The sense of betrayal was immediate. We, the people of Earth, were no longer trusted with the full picture. The silence was not just technical, it was deliberate. A wall built between humanity and the unknown. That single act of censorship transformed curiosity into anxiety. We had been looking out at the stars only to have the door slammed shut in our faces. The world was left in the dark, united by a single chilling question: what just happened? In that moment, the universe, for the first time in living memory, had gone silent. The silence was not just the absence of sound, but the presence of fear, wonder, and the haunting realization that something out there had changed everything we thought we knew. What was this object that triggered global panic? First spotted by pan-stars in Hawaii, it was logged as a faint speck, just another asteroid. But as astronomers tracked it, Neo Oumuamua moved with purpose, not like any comet or asteroid. It wasn't just falling through space, it was navigating it. This defied everything we knew about the cosmos. The object was several kilometers long, elongated like a colossal needle, but unlike its predecessor, it was stable, deliberately oriented. It accelerated when it should have slowed, making precise course corrections toward a gravitationally stable point between Earth and the Sun. This was not a rock. This was something else. Every natural explanation was proposed and discarded. None fit. The realization dawned: we were not observing a natural object, we were witnessing technology. As a physicist, I've trusted the universe's laws, until Neo Oumuamua. Its path ignored gravity, as if guided by an unseen hand. Teams worldwide checked and rechecked their calculations. The result: its acceleration couldn't be explained by any known force. Imagine throwing a ball, only for it to speed up and turn mid-air. That was Neo Oumuamua. Its most baffling move, a perfect course correction to avoid debris in the asteroid belt. No engines, no exhaust, just silent, impossible agility. It was a ghost ship, sailing space on its own terms. When physics fails to explain, two options remain: new laws or artificial origin. The consensus grew: this was technology, not nature. We stared at evidence of a civilization far beyond our own, and we had no idea what it wanted. The universe's rules had been rewritten before our eyes. The mystery was no longer scientific, it was existential. Humanity was no longer alone. As Neo Oumuamua settled at the L1 point, a hush fell over the world's observatories. Then, in the deep quiet of space, radio telescopes detected a faint repeating signal, barely above the cosmic background noise, but persistent, rhythmic, and unlike anything ever recorded before. After days of sleepless analysis, SETI researchers finally cracked the code. The signal was a sequence of prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, marching onward in perfect order. The numbers pulsed through the static, a pattern that could not be mistaken for a natural phenomenon. Prime numbers are a universal sign of intelligence, a mathematical fingerprint. No known natural object broadcasts them in sequence. It was as if someone or something was whispering across the void using the language of logic itself. The message was unmistakable, a mathematical greeting. "Hello, we are here." It was a simple, elegant statement, but it carried the weight of cosmic history. The signal was a beacon, sent out for any civilization clever enough to notice, a test of awareness and intellect. It was an invitation and a challenge. The world's scientists convened in urgent meetings debating the next step. Should humanity reply? What should we say in return? Was it safe to answer, or were we risking everything by responding? The weight of the decision was immense. Every word, every calculation could shape the future of our species. The tension in the air was palpable, as if the whole planet was holding its breath. Then, without warning, disaster struck. A sudden blackout swept through NASA's control room, monitors flickered and died. At the same moment, a wave of cyberattacks erupted, targeting astronomical archives and data centers worldwide. The signal stopped, all data streams ceased. Public and private data on Neo Oumuamua vanished in an instant, as if erased by an invisible hand. Years of research wiped away in seconds. The blackout wasn't just a pause, it was a deliberate erasure. The silence that followed was absolute, chilling, and final. Humanity's first contact had been silenced, not by accident, but by design. The hope and excitement of discovery were replaced by a haunting void. The message was clear: someone, or something, was controlling the narrative. The flow of information was no longer in human hands. The world was left with only questions. Newsrooms buzzed with speculation, scientists stared at blank screens, and ordinary people wondered what had really happened. The silence that followed was more terrifying than the signal itself. It was as if the universe had spoken, then decided we were not ready to hear more. We had been noticed, our presence acknowledged, and then, just as quickly, we were cut off. The connection was severed, leaving us in the dark. The universe had spoken, and then, with chilling finality, closed the line. In the aftermath, humanity was left to wonder, would the silence ever be broken again? This latest event has forced us to revisit some of the most perplexing cosmic mysteries of our time, especially the enigma of the original Oumuamua, first spotted in 2017. The astronomical community was stunned, and the world watched as scientists scrambled to make sense of what we had just witnessed. That object, too, was unlike anything we'd ever seen. It was elongated, shaped almost like a cosmic cigar, tumbling end over end through the vast emptiness of space. Even more baffling, it accelerated away from the sun in ways that defied our understanding of physics. No cometary tail, no visible propulsion, just a silent, inexplicable push. Back then, the idea that it might be alien in origin was considered fringe, almost laughable. Mainstream science dismissed it as wild speculation, but now, with new evidence and another mysterious visitor, that theory has moved from the margins to the center stage of scientific debate. The similarities between these two objects are undeniable. Both are interstellar, both are oddly shaped, and both behave in ways that challenge our current models of physics. It's as if the universe is repeating itself, daring us to pay attention. It's almost as if the first Oumuamua was a scout, sent ahead to observe, tumbling in a way that made it look like just another piece of cosmic debris. But what if that was just a disguise? Neo Oumuamua, however, is different. This one is stable, almost purposeful in its movement. And then, it did something unprecedented. It stopped, as if to announce its presence, and sent a signal that no one could ignore. The progression seems almost logical. First a passive probe to observe us from afar, then, an active one, designed to establish contact. It's a sequence that makes sense if you're trying to study, and then reach out to, another civilization. These aren't just isolated incidents, they're starting to look like chapters in a single, unfolding story. Each event builds on the last, creating a narrative that's hard to ignore. Other cosmic anomalies like the famous WOW signal, mysterious fast radio bursts, and the strange dimming of Tabby's star, suddenly seem less like random puzzles, and more like pieces of a much larger cosmic puzzle, all pointing toward the same mystery. What we once dismissed as unrelated oddities may actually be breadcrumbs, subtle evidence of a persistent, intelligent presence in our galaxy, quietly leaving clues for us to find. For years, we simply weren't connecting the dots. Each anomaly seemed like a dead end, but now, the pattern is becoming impossible to ignore. The universe's secrets are finally starting to align before our eyes. A pattern is emerging, one that could change everything we thought we knew about our place in the cosmos. We are not just passive observers of the universe, perhaps for the first time, we must consider that we are being observed in return. The feeling is both thrilling and unsettling. The story is only beginning. The next chapter may be closer than we think. Enter the Sentinel hypothesis. Advanced civilizations may seed the galaxy with autonomous probes, sentinels, monitoring for emerging intelligence. Neo Oumuamua fits perfectly, advanced, interstellar, parked at the ideal vantage point. The prime number signal was likely a test. Did we notice? Did we understand? Maybe the Fermi paradox isn't about absence but about hidden observers. We could be living in a monitored cosmic reserve, our development tracked from afar. The blackout may have been the observer's way of saying not yet. Hours after the blackout, Earth's magnetometers recorded a single synchronized pulse, global, uniform, inexplicable. It was as if our planet's magnetic field had been pinged by an external force. The only plausible theory, the pulse came from Neo Oumuamua, scanning our planet's core. Then, Voyager 1, our most distant probe, suddenly transmitted a powerful, structured data burst, not of human origin. It was as if something had intercepted Voyager and used it as a relay. The implication, a galactic communication grid, with Neo Oumuamua as a node. Our message in a bottle had been found and used. We had become part of a conversation we couldn't understand. The universe was talking, using our own tools. We were no longer just listeners, we were participants. In the aftermath, secrecy blanketed the world's scientific community. Open collaboration vanished, replaced by classified briefings and silence. Scientists were silenced, data streams reduced to vague statements. The cyber attacks were too precise, suggesting an external force at work. Is the truth being hidden from us, or from our own governments? Research is redirected, key personnel moved, unrelated projects defunded. The silence is not calm, it's the deep breath before the plunge. We face the greatest mystery in human history and we do so in the dark. The pieces fit together, the impossible visitor, the signal, the blackout, the magnetic pulse, Voyager's reply. A new theory emerges. Our solar system is a laboratory, and we are the experiment. The Sentinels watch, record, and occasionally interact. The prime number signal was a stimulus, the magnetic pulse, a measurement. Our reactions are the data. The Fermi paradox is solved. The experimenters isolate their subjects. We are not the masters of our destiny, but actors in a play written by unseen intelligence. The experiment is now live. In the wake of revelation, humanity stands at the threshold of a new epoch. The knowledge that we are observed, part of a cosmic experiment, ripples through every nation, every mind. Yet in this awakening, fear gives way to possibility. World leaders convene not to divide, but to unite. Scientists, philosophers, and artists collaborate as never before. The search for meaning transcends borders. Together we reimagine our place in the universe, not as mere subjects, but as participants in a grand design. Children gaze upward, their curiosity unbound. The arts flourish, inspired by the unknown. New fields of study emerge, blending physics with philosophy, astronomy with empathy. Questions become catalysts for progress. We send a message not just to the watchers, but to ourselves. We are ready to learn, to grow, to reach beyond. The experiment continues, but now with hope as our guiding star. As Earth turns beneath the silent sky, a new chapter begins. Not defined by fear, but by wonder. Not constrained by the watchers, but uplifted by the possibilities they reveal. The universe is listening, and for the first time, so are we. Inspired by the revelation of the Watchers, humanity embarks on its boldest journey yet. The mysteries of Oumuamua and its enigmatic visitors ignite a new era of exploration, one that transcends the boundaries of our solar system. Pause 2S. In laboratories and launch pads across the globe, new technologies rise from dream to reality. Solar sails unfurl like silver wings, catching the faint breath of distant stars. Quantum communication arrays blink to life, promising instant contact across light years. Fusion drives, once confined to theory, roar with the promise of unprecedented speed. Pause 2S. International crews, trained in both science and philosophy, prepare for missions that will carry them beyond the Oort cloud and into the interstellar dark. Their ships are not only vessels of discovery but of hope, each hull etched with messages for whatever intelligences may lie beyond. Pause 2S. 8 probes leap ahead, trailing ribbons of data back to Earth. They seek anomalies, signatures and whispers, signs of watchers or perhaps fellow wanderers. Human explorers follow, their journey broadcast to a united planet. Children watch in classrooms, dreamers sketch new worlds, and poets find words for the awe of cosmic dawn. Pause 2S. Every new horizon brings both answers and greater questions. Are we alone in our curiosity? What will we become now that we know we are not alone in the universe? Pause 2S. The quest for understanding propels us forward, not as subjects but as explorers, not as watched, but as watchers ourselves. Pause 2S. In the shadow of Oumuamua, with the eyes of the cosmos upon us, humanity dares to step beyond the veil, toward discovery, connection, and the infinite unknown. Pause 2S. The adventure has only just begun.